What's up, everybody? Larissa, Shanti here, and today is day 3 of the Gratitude Journey series. First of all, thank you so much for everybody who has been a part of this thus far. It really, really means a lot to me. This practice means a lot to me, so thank you for being a part of it. For those that want to know more, the Gratitude Journey series is a short series of yoga flows aimed at cultivating a little bit more gratitude and gratitude mindset in your daily life. It's also to celebrate International Gratitude Day, which is on the 21st of September. So if you'd like to know more or how you can be more involved with this journey we're on, you can go ahead and check the description below. Without further ado, I will say that today's theme is let that shh go. So if that speaks to you, come join me on the mat. So I forgot to mention earlier, but if you do have 2 blocks, they might be helpful for this practice. So if you have them, go ahead and bring them onto the mat, but they're only recommended, not essential to the practice. So if you don't have them, don't worry about it, you'll be just fine. With that being said, we're gonna start in child's pose today. So if you wanna take your knees nice and wide, big toes together, and then sink the hips towards the heels. Take your arms long, and then rest your forehead down towards the earth. And just take a few moments to settle in here. Maybe walk your hands a little bit wider out to the edges of your mat, creating more space for the shoulders and neck. And see if you can use your breath to settle into the back body. Feel your hips get heavy and sink towards the heels. Just allowing the body to let go as much as it can, soften, melt. So sometimes when we hold on in life, when we hold on to expectations, objects, experiences, thoughts, when we hold on to these things, sometimes it can block us from bringing gratitude into our lives. We have these expectations that things should be a certain way or we should have certain things. So today, let's try to drop all that. Drop our expectations. Let go of the things that we think that we should have. Or let go of thoughts of a past situation that may be bothering you. And sometimes when we let these things go, we can just allow the gratitude for the things that we do have and the experiences that we do have to creep back into our lives. So today's theme is allow, 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 and let that shh go. Now on your next inhale, start to rise back up, coming back to that tabletop position. Hands come back underneath the shoulders, knees come back underneath the hips. Let's just do a few gentle cat-cows. So on your inhale, you can drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the head. And on your exhale, round the spine, let the head drop to look back at the thighs. Keep moving back and forth, nice and slow, tuning in with your breath, trying to match your movement with your breath. Once you've done a few rounds of those, meet me back in a tabletop. On your inhale, start to tuck your toes. On your exhale, lift those hips up and back, coming into our first downward dog. You can start to pedal out the feet a little bit, getting into the hamstrings, back sides of the legs. Then maybe move on to giving a little yes, no with the head, getting into the neck and shoulders. Then let's bend our knees generously, lift the heels, look forward, start to walk towards the top of the mat. Your feet are about hip width distance when you reach the top. Let's bring our hands to our shins. Inhale, find a halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. And then on your exhale, folding again. Let's bring our right hand right in front of our face. Start to bend your right knee, keeping the left arm straight. Left leg straight, rather. Then on your inhale, take that left arm to the sky, finding a little twist here. You can look down or up, just whatever feels good on the neck. Then start to take that left hand back to the earth. Switch it with the right. Straighten the right leg as you bend the left. Then inhale, right arm to the sky. Gentle twist. Take the hand back down. Generously bend both knees. On your inhale, start to roll the spine up, stacking one vertebrae at a time. Your chin stays close to your chest till that last moment. Then the head rises and stacks on top. Take the hands up overhead. And then exhale as the hands come through heart center. And then down by your side to find your mountain pose. On your next inhale, start to draw your shoulders up to your ears, give a squeeze, and then let it all go. Let's do a couple more of those. Inhale, shoulders up to the ears, squeeze, and then let it drop, relax. One more, inhale, and exhale. Let that go. And now start to kind of just twist the body, letting the arms kind of be heavy and flop from side to side, giving yourself a little tap on the booty. This is really good for releasing the diaphragm and just shaking it off. Let that go. Come back to your center. Find your mountain pose. So let's look down at our toes. Pick your toes up, spread them wide, and then set them down onto your mat. Now give your mat a little squish with those toes. Feel your inner arches start to lift. From this space, let's shift all of our weight into our right leg. Bring the left knee up towards the chest. Maybe we can lace the hands around, giving it a squeeze. And then from here, hold on with your with your right hand, and then start to take your left arm behind you, coming into this little twist. The gaze can be behind you, but that's going to be more challenging. So just looking wherever feels most accessible to you today. Then coming back to center, setting that knee down. Shift the weight over into the left leg. Right knee rises to the chest. Give it a little squeeze. Then holding on with your left arm, take the right arm behind you. Opening out into a little twist. Again, you can try to look back at that back thumb, but that's gonna add extra challenge to the balance. So you can look forward, straight ahead, whatever feels good. Bring that hand back to center, set it down, feet back to hip width, find the mountain. Then inhale, hands high. Exhale, swan dive, coming all the way down. Inhale to a halfway lift. Find a long spine. Reach through the crown of the head. Then exhale as your hands come back down to the mat. Step back with one leg, then the other, finding your plank. Take an inhale, and then on your exhale, lowering down. Always the option to drop the knees. On your inhale, peel the heart up. Exhale, coming down, tucking your toes, pressing yourself back to a downward dog. On your inhale, take the right leg up behind you. On the exhale, bend the knee, bring it through, place it in between the hands. Drop the back knee down. Take your fingers behind you, then inhale, sweep it up into Anjaneyasana. And then exhale, let it go. Hands down to the mat. Lift the back leg. Come back to your downward dog. Inhale as the left leg goes high. Exhale as you bring it through, place it down between the hands. Drop your back knee, take your hands behind you. Then inhale, sweep them high. Exhale, let it go. Lift the back leg, come back to your downward dog. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. And again, exhale through the mouth, let it all go. On the next inhale, bend the knees, lift the heels, look forward. On the exhale, travel to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale to fold. On your inhale, bend your knees, press and rise, hands up overhead. And then exhale through heart center. Mountain pose, ground it down and rise it up. One more time. Inhale, hands high. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, hands come down, come back to your plank. And then when you're ready, lowering down. On your inhale, peel the heart up, baby cobra. Exhale, coming back down, tucking those toes, pressing yourself back to a downward dog. On your inhale, take your right leg up behind you. On the exhale, bring it through, place it in between the hands. This time, keep the back leg lifted. Take your hands behind you. Inhale, sweep it up. And then hands down to the mat. Now, start to lengthen through your front leg, pulling that right hip back. Keep your toes pressing down onto the mat. So we're coming into this wide-legged pyramid variation. If you have blocks, you can use them here to kind of help lift you up if you need to, or you can just come up onto the peace fingers. Now coming back down into that low lunge, and then lengthen back up. Just move back and forth here a few times, just warming up that right leg, right hamstring a bit. And then end in your low runner's lunge. Crawl the fingertips forward. And then start to slide forward. So you're sending all the way into that front leg, sliding the back leg up. Bring some weight into your fingertips as you drop the heart. Bring the heel to your bum and then extend. Heel to the bum and then extend. Just practicing balancing here. And then bring the foot underneath. Hands to the shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, bend the knees, press and rise. Hands up overhead. Exhale through heart center. And mountain pose, grounding down, rising up. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, hands rise. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to your plank. Then lowering down. Inhale to your baby cobra. And then exhale, tucking the toes, coming back to a downward dog. On your inhale, left leg high. On the exhale, bring that foot through, place it down. Sweep your hands behind you at first. Then inhale, take them up overhead. And then exhale, hands all the way down. Start to lengthen through that front leg. Left hip hugs back, right hip hugs forward. Keep those front toes pressing down. And then lunging back to your runner's lunge. Just keep it going a few times. Just gently waking up those hamstrings and hips. Coming back into your runner's lunge, start to bring the hands forward just a tad. Then sliding forward, weight into that front leg. Bend the knee, heel to the hip. Again, maybe bringing your palms down if you can. And just sending a little bit of weight into those hands. Maybe extend the leg and then bend. Extend and bend. Then bring the right leg underneath you. Hands to the shins. Inhale, long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press and rise. Hands up overhead. And then exhale through heart center. Mountain pose, grounding it down and rising it up. All right, adding on to that. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale to fold, stepping back to your plank. In your own time, lowering down. And inhale to your up dog or cobra. And then exhale, meet me in a down dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, bring it through, place the foot down. Sweep the fingers behind you, then inhale, rise them up. And then let it go on the way down. Lengthen through that front leg, pull that right hip back. And then come forward into your runner's lunge. Take the hands forward, start to slide that back leg up. Weight is into the fingertips. Now keep that back leg extended this time. Toes are flexing, left glute is firing. Now see if you can rise up, bring the hands to the heart. Always an option to use the blocks here too if you'd like. Letting that go, flying and letting go. Now, extra challenge here, bend your standing leg. Start to bring your back knee through, coming into a one-legged Tadasana. Give it a little squeeze, and then sit that foot down. Find the mountain pose. On your inhale, shoulders to the ears, and let it go. One more. And let it go. Other side. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Hands come down to the mat, shift it back to your plank. In your own time, lowering down. Inhaling, baby cobra. And then exhaling, meeting me in a down dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, bring it through, place it down. Lengthen through that front leg, left toes pressing down, left hip pulling back. Bending that front knee, coming into your low lunge. Bring the fingertips forward. Start to slide forward, lifting that back leg first. Keep those toes flexing. And then from here, pressing through that grounded leg, maybe finding your blocks or bringing that hand to the heart. Maybe take the hands wide, flying, letting go. And you have to let go in order to fly, right? Now bring that back leg underneath and through. Knee to the chest, little squeeze. Set that foot down. Inhale, shoulders to the ears. And then let it go. One more time. Inhale. And let it go. From here, start to walk your feet out to the edges of your mat. Your toes are going out, your heels are coming in. On your next inhale, hands come up over the head. And then exhale, squatting down, finding our malasana. Now, if it feels like your heels are really lifting or you're really falling forward or maybe backwards, you can always bring block underneath you. Just take a few breaths here. Gently start to release. You can bring your hands behind you if you like, setting that bum down onto the mat. And then hands come underneath your knees. Roll your spine down. And we're gonna come into a recline butterfly pose. So your soles of the feet together, your knees go wide. And then maybe take your arms out to a T, or if you'd like, you could do cactus arms. Just letting it go, being open, being receptive, and letting it all go. We're gonna stay here for a little while. So if your inner hips are tight, you can always bring a block underneath the legs to support them. And while you're here, you'll get a little story time. So, once there were two monks on a journey, and they were walking along a path. Eventually, they came across this part of the path that was exceptionally muddy and slippery and dangerous. And when they came there, they saw that there was a woman in a nice fancy dress looking distraught and wanted to cross that muddy section, but she just couldn't seem to figure out how to get across. Without hesitation, one of the monks offered to carry her. And she said, thank you so much. And so he did. He carried her across the muddy section and dropped her down on the other side. And then they went on their way. They continued walking for hours and days. And the other monk that did not carry the lady seemed distraught, angry, and silent. And eventually, after a few days had passed, he turned to the other monk and said, you shouldn't have done that. And the other monk said, done what? He said, you shouldn't have picked up that woman. We've taken a vow. We've vowed to never touch women. He said, you shouldn't have picked her up and taken her across that muddy pit. And the monk said back to him, he said, my friend, I picked her up days ago and set her down. You are the one that still carries her. So when we hold on to things, it can really be to our own detriment. So try to just let it go. Maybe use your hands now to bring those knees back together. Feet coming back onto the earth. Start to walk your feet a little bit wider, maybe out to the edges of your mat, and then let the knees fall in towards each other so you're gently releasing those inner hips, inner thighs. And walk the feet back to hip width distance. Knees to the chest, little squeeze. Leave those knees where they are, take the arms wide. Then let the knees fall over to one side, coming into your supine twist. If you want to look in the opposite direction, feel free. And just seeing if you can soften here, soften in the jaw and the forehead, maybe in the shoulders and the spine. Allowing. Bring the head back to center, knees draw back up. And then on your next exhale, knees go down the other way. You can send the gaze in the opposite direction. Again, settling, allowing the body to soften, allowing the body to be breathed and lengthened. Bringing the head back to center, knees back up. Final squeeze, drawing the forehead to the knees. And then when you're ready, release, extend the legs down to the bottom of the mat. Arms come down by your side, palms facing up. And once you feel settled here, you can allow the eyes to close. And before you drift off to your Shavasana, I'll leave you with a little quote. Feel your feelings, but don't become your emotions. Feel it, allow it, and let it go. Feel it, allow it, and let it go. And remember, at the end, write down 3 things you're feeling grateful for. And enjoy the rest of your day.